Afternoon. It is Sunday afternoon at around about 6 o'clockish. So I haven't actually got my watch on because it's on charge. So things going well. Sunday today was Grand Fondo Isle of Man, which is a big cycling race. It has not been the best weather for it. This is literally the first time it has stopped raining since 10 o'clock last night, which is obviously great for everything here. For a cycle race, not so, and I'm just kind of approaching the rain gauge down here, and it's looking a little bit full, which would be quite interesting to see. I've never seen it that full, and I did check it yesterday, so I'm generally just trying to check it once a day. Whoa, that is 40 millimetres. So 40 millimetres of rain has fallen over the last 18 hours, thereabouts. I did actually go out on the mountain bike today. I have just mountain bike down today. It's just there. It's leaning against the tank because I only live just up the road. But me and my boys went out on the mountain bike today, and we had contemplated going gill scrambling, but we went mountain biking instead. I think we'd have stayed. Got drier. It's been drier doing the gill scrambling than we were mountain biking. But as I say, fantastic for the stuff here. Sunflowers, there is plenty of flowers. You barely could probably see them on here, to be honest, but there is lots there. Take it, word from me. So yeah, obviously, literally, last week's video has just got out, and yeah, just thought I'd come down for a quick check now that the rain stopped. Have a look at what's going on with the pumpkins. Look, I'm even wearing a coat as well. It's like, bloody hell, winter is coming. That's what us northerners are supposed to say, isn't it? From some fella off some show on TV. Still not seen that one yet, but must do. I've watched most of the others, but just not that one. So yeah, as Jon Snow said, we are on the run down to winter now. Winter is coming, but it's got a little while to go yet. So everything's looking really good. I'm just going to go have a check over on the other side. Don't think there'll be much going on. A bit of rain's not going to really affect too much. Might flatten out some stuff, but it's also going to massively encourage everything to grow. You know, the pumpkins will be loving this, and this is what is making them swell exponentially every time we see them. So yeah, very good. See you soon. I didn't, so just had a walk over to the area where I've just sowed some things. So in here I put some peas, beans and a couple of them flowers, which included some gladioli that I picked up at an absolute steal of a price, to the point of I've gone and got some more. So I was going to put them in. I thought, in fact, there they are. You can just see them there. I didn't even notice them when I walked past. So they're a bit of something. I don't think they're going to flower this year. They might put 1 or 2 flowers out, but they're going to flower next year. And as I say, I'm going to extend that row up. I bought another 4 packets of them because they were being sold off really cheap at the end, and I thought, you can't beat them. Really good splash of colour. But here where the peas are, the peas have just started to come up, which is really good because I did have a bit of a worry that the crows might have had it. So the peas run from these markers all the way up to that one there, and that marker. So there's 5 rows, I think it was. They're going to get a bit of cover, and then they will get fences, same as that one just behind me there, once they start coming. Funnily, last time I wore this coat and put something in the pocket was when I was planting the potatoes. So this is the chit which came on the packet potatoes when I planted my potatoes, which are in this section here. So yeah, I don't often wear a coat. So we do have some peas, still not really much. The last lot I mostly ate at home, and they were spectacular. They were the tea with the chips. So chips. I know that the title of last week's video was chips, and I kind of put a picture of a burger and some chips in at the end, but I kind of forgot to say anything about it in the video. So I did do a video which has gone up onto Facebook and Instagram about how I make my chips. Now, I am a bit soft here, stuff been digging. I am by no means a chef. I can create food which I like and that my family likes, and that is about it. Funnily, me and my wife were joking about this. Literally 5 years since I barely cooked a meal in the house, whereas now I generally do most meals. Now that might be because I'm here, you know, I do the school run, so whereas my wife works full time, so maybe, who knows, but since then I have started experimenting with all sorts, and the chips I make are really simple and really tasty, and they're probably fairly good for you. There's only a little bit of oil on. I have in the past done them deep fat fried over fire, whereas these aren't. These are done in the oven, fan oven, on quite hot, and they're just cut fine and coated with a bit of oil. That's all, and it suffices. Really nice. A little bit of seasoning. So yeah, if you're interested, have a look on our Instagram and Instagram and Facebook, the social media platforms, and have a look on there, see the video, and you can then take what you want from that. So you know, I was saying about the Brussels sprouts having a bit of height. Good. This stuff's got crazy. Loads of it. I'm sure this was in here last time I walked down. Let me find one of the Brussels sprouts. So the Brussels sprouts are actually in the midst of all this, which that need to not be. So this is my next weeding project, I think. But here is one of the Brussels sprout plants. So I'll just try and keep that weed out of the way. So the sprouts actually form in the bottom of the stems here. So that'll get up to around about this height, hopefully. The stem will get a lot thicker, and it'll start to produce the sprouts where the leaves join on. The plan was to try and have come and pick your own on the Brussels sprouts with that whole area full of them, but these are what fell foul of the dry weather we had, at which point that's not going to happen. So that's a bit of a shame, but maybe next year. There's always time for that, you know. We'll see. These ones might come to something. So here you can see along, there's a row all the way along there. So they are pretty small. They can be planted, from what I've done the research, up until about May. So they went in at the end of May, start of June. So hopefully it wasn't too late for them to go in, and they might just then be late sprouts, which isn't too much of an issue as long as they get established before the weather turns. But at the moment, these are the things of the moment. Wonderful sunflowers and very soggy bumblebee. So we'll leave the bumblebees. They can get their warm once the sun comes out. It does look like it stopped raining now. You know, the cloud sky's a bit clearer, a bit lighter, but you can see the amount of flowers we have got. Basically, I've harvested about 30 so far. Yeah, you wouldn't even know. I'm not even making a dent. So if you are on the island, get yourself up to the Honesty Box, or if you do want to get a load, get in touch with us. You know, we bulk orders, but I can't welcome odd people, not odd people, but the odd person here, there and everywhere down to the field. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work for me for time wise, and it wouldn't work for the farm. Once we do the pumpkins, it's going to be different. You know, that is something where we're going to set a couple of days aside, which we now need to get actually pinned down and in the diary, so we know when that's all going to happen, and then we can get the people down. We can try and tie it in with a bit of a bigger event, and we can get that lot picked. So, but if you do, like I say, if you are on the island and you do want a load of sunflowers, get in touch. Social media is probably the easiest, or if you know me, come down and see me, and we can sort you out, because we definitely have no shortage of them. So yeah, at which point I'm going to get on my bike, I'm going to cycle home, because I've done a nice bit of a walk around. Oh, I do need to go empty the rain gauge. I need to empty the rain gauge, so I'll go that way. Right, see you later. Good morning. It's Monday morning, first day of the school holidays, and yesterday we had 40 millimetres of rain. Chickens are joining in the conversation. Had 40 millimetres of rain this morning, just sorting out the chickens. Worked out that I'd left my window open. Oh, got a very soggy driver's seat. So yeah, 40 millimetres of rain went into there. So It's not looking the best in there. It's not the first time, most certainly will not be the last. Good afternoon. It is, hang on, let me get you on there somewhere. Alright, there we go. You're on. Let's get that out of the way. Right, it is Tuesday evening. I've just come down to do a bit of planting because I need to get some more stuff growing. I've had a fantastic chat today with another local restaurant-y, food provider-y place, which hopefully in the near future I'll be able to let you know who it is, about producing more vegetables and salad and basically anything that I can grow for them. So it's absolutely amazing. I can't believe that someone's actually came to find me instead of me asking someone. You know, someone's come to find me. So I'm just down here doing a bit of planting. I've got some more lettuce seeds, so I'm going to get them in along the rows where we've got the lettuce at the start. I'm also down here with my lovely family. They've come down, so they're currently walking around, so I don't get dragged around by the dog, which is great. So what a lovely day it is today. And sorry, you're magnetised onto there. Look at the sunflowers back there, absolutely stunning. So I'm just going to, just them first two rows there, which have got a little bit of the lettuce in still, I'm going to continue them up about half its length. And I'm going to put them in using the hand seeder instead of the drill, because I don't think the drill works very well with the lettuce seed, because the drill's designed for brassicas, which the seed looks like that, if you can see. Tiny little seeds, a bit like poppy seeds but a bit bigger, whereas the lettuce seed is a long and thin seed, so it doesn't go as well through the drill. And the row that I did use the drill for, it kind of put everything in the first kind of like 20 metres instead of going all the way down. So I definitely don't think something was working right there. Rocket is coming up great, and the lettuces which are here are doing really well, to the point of I'm well impressed with them. So we'll get some more stuff in. Potatoes, we're coming towards the end of what we've got on the new potato wise. We do have a big event that we're doing something for, which is going to use a load of potatoes, so we're probably going to end up harvesting quite a bit. Sorry, it's quite hot here, I'm sweating here, hence the vest. So we'll be pulling up quite a lot of the potatoes, to be honest, for that, because we need a very specific size for what the restaurant who's taking them off us is wanting. But all in all, yeah, sun's shining, it keeps raining. We had 40 mil the other day, and the very wet seat, which is now dried out, so that's good. We forecast more rain tomorrow as well, which is typical because that's my day that I go grass cutting, so that's always going to happen, isn't it? So yeah, we're looking happy. Things are progressing, as name is spreading, and for good reasons as well. So hopefully this will allow us to then continue on and grow. And you know, I've hopefully got the ideas of trying to get a polytunnel up here through the winter, or at least from the back end. It all depends on how the pumpkins sell, and so hopefully using some of the money from that to allow us to get a polytunnel, and then we can grow for a much longer period and produce much better things. You know, a polytunnel will allow us to keep stuff in the shelter. I've got a couple of little polytunnels I could put in over a ridge or on the flat or something. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a bit more seed ordering as well, so I'll let you know what I've ordered when I order it, just to kind of fill in for what this other people are wanting. So I'm going to crack on with that, and I'll probably catch up with you at some point later in the week. It is Wednesday. I really need to think about this. I need it written down on a piece of paper what day it is. Just been out mowing. Now, unfortunately, the ride-on, which I normally use here, is mostly dead. I think we're going to try and have a look at the gearbox. So I've just been using the pedestrian mower to cut quite a large area. So there's this area and another area down there. I didn't do the field path, which is the one which I like to do with the ride-on, because there's just no point. I couldn't do that with the pedestrian. Now, my pedestrian, as you might have seen in some of the videos, is a little battery still, professional quality one. Well, I did this whole area, which probably equates to about a third to half an acre, I'd have thought, with quite a few little bits around the tree, and I did it on 2 batteries as well, which is pretty phenomenal. So really impressed with that. It's done a lovely cut. I am going to have a look, see if I can get a mulching kit for it, because that's a bit better, because then I can return the grass down, and particularly at this time of year, it's just going to set the grass up nice for coming into next year. And as long as it's cut regular, which this is, it's cut every week, you're not going to get that bulk up of grass, and I can also use it at mine as well. So yeah, we're going to have to go pick some sunflowers. We've got some sunflowers out. We've possibly got another place where they're going to be sold from, so that's really good. And not much else. I think it is, not that you can tell from looking at the sky, but it's forecast rain this afternoon, quite heavy I think, so hopefully try and get kind of work finished before that, and then I can be at home and sat with my lovely family. But yeah, I've managed to get plenty planted last night. So lots of lettuce in, and some beetroot, I think I was showing you that, and then I also got some more runner beans and the gladioli, which I bought in. They're a bit of something and nothing of the gladioli. They might come to something, they might just get annoying, I don't know, but the bulbs were so cheap I couldn't really not go for it. If they don't work out, I know plenty of people who will take the bulbs once they've finished next year, and I can kind of ship them on to other people. That's not a worry. The broad beans, that'd be really nice. The first lot have actually started coming up, and they're probably about 2 inch tall now of the plants, so I'll look to get a fence in, well, at least some wiring above them for them to grow up. And the peas are starting to show. I would like to try and weed in and amongst the peas, but unfortunately they're not kind of showing enough to know where the lines are. And because they're not on a ridge, it's quite difficult. I did also strim out between the carrots as well last night, which was a horrendous job because there were so many thistles. So I ended up peppered in thistle spines. So I'll try and show you that again later or tomorrow if we can. Yesterday was kind of taken up during the day by moving the dryer, which is very dusty, and we're trying to move it to somewhere else. And unfortunately the barn's not quite tall enough, so we're going to have to maybe lift the roof on it. So you might have an entertaining video coming up later of us trying to do that, because I think that's tomorrow's job. So yeah, we'll see where we're at. So I'm going to go get some sunflowers, get them dropped back up to Little Meadow Farm, not Meadow, Meadow Farm, and then we'll go from there and just see what the weather brings. Good afternoon. It is Wednesday afternoon. Yes, it is Wednesday afternoon. Just had to double check that one again. I'm terrible with this. Like I say, I need a set of notes. Yeah, so the weather kind of happened today, and I know I said that I didn't really want to be doing any harvesting, but I ended up trying to sort something, and the weather kind of turned, which meant that I didn't go to do the garden that I was going to do, because it's a nightmare doing anything when it rains there. And so far, it only ever seems to rain on a Wednesday afternoon when I go to the same place. So yeah, I decided to come down here, and I got a load of stuff planted. I've also tried to meet someone about, well, I did go meet them about potential outlet for us veggies when we can grow more. Ooh, that's a pretty cool looking pumpkin. Look at that one. When we can grow more, there is more going in. Sorry, this coat just a little bit too high. So yeah, plenty kind of progressing. So I've just put some more lettuce, carrots, some winter lettuce in, and oh, there was something else. What did I plant? Oh, some turnips. So not Manx turnips, which is actually a Swede. Some actual turnips. Oh wow, look at this thing. Wow. Is that a... Looks like it should be a courgette, but I don't think it is, because marrows don't go that colour. Yeah, so actual turnips rather than a Manx turnip. Manx turnip is a Swede, don't know why, but it just is. So I've just put a couple of them in to try and grow some of them, because it's basically just trying to fill up the gaps of where everything died earlier in the year when it went really dry. Because as you know, we had an absolute nightmare with that. We lost quite a lot, because 7 weeks of no rain was just too much, and definitely couldn't water anything. Now down here somewhere is an absolute massive pumpkin off a not very massive plant as well, which is quite funny. I saw it this morning. Oh, there we go. Look at that one. So that is definitely our biggest pumpkin we've got so far. That one's a bit soft in there. But as you see, it's not actually that big a plant. It's just produced a really big pumpkin. So it'll be interesting to see how that one develops. I should maybe put a marker in so we can find that. Because there is one more down that way, which I've not managed to find since the first time we found it. But all in all, the pumpkins are looking grand. I'll just show you these ones in here. So look at that. There. Now that pumpkin that I've just shown you there is actually, I think, bigger. Now why would that happen? This pumpkin plant's died. Maybe that got caught when I was weeding. Might have been caught when I was weeding. Yeah, that pumpkin there that I've just shown you, I think is actually bigger than most of the stuff we had last year come harvest time, which is boding well for this year. Parsnips are looking good. I've just dug some carrots out of here, which are currently in the pickup, which are starting to get a bit of size. The parsnips, from a bit of reading I've been doing, they need to have a frost on them, which then converts the sugars and makes them go sweet, because if not, they're just kind of starchy and not very nice. So we'll probably not be picking any of the parsnips. I might have a talk to the guardhouse and see if he knows about that, because obviously you can buy parsnips now in the shop. So it's whether they have whether they're last year's and they've been hands too mucky to wipe the rain. Sorry if the rain's over me. If they are last year's and have been frozen or chilled, you know, that might be the way. Obviously we're doing seasonal veg, so we're not really doing anything. So these two we're not doing anything. We're not trying to freeze or refrigerate. That's not what we can do at the moment. So these two rows which run along here, these are now lettuce all the way along. So it'd be interesting to see how they come up over the coming 7 to 14 days it takes for lettuce to show. There's all sorts of bits you can see which have been disturbed. I do need to try and work out a way that I can run something in between the rows for getting rid of the weeds. Now, there's not too many weeds down here. There's a few, most of them are potatoes to be honest, so they're getting harvested anyway. But there is grass in between. Now, if the grass doesn't get too tall, it's not a worry, because low grass is okay. It stops the soil being bare and keeps the moisture in. You know, it stops evaporation out of the soil, which is always good. We don't want it getting dry again. Although with this weather, well, it's not going to. But this is great growing weather because it's relatively warm. It's not too cold. And it's wet. So have we got anything? Yeah, it's too far that way. I don't think there was anything in the rain gauge earlier when I checked, but it has started raining since then. So I'm going to go over the other side. I did a bit of weeding last night, so I'll show you that and then we'll catch up over there. So here on this section is where I planted the peas, which you can see are just starting to come up there. So there will be a nice row there. I can just about see it. So now that, and there's another one, where was that one down here? There, and heading off up that way. So now that I can now see them rows, I can actually weed in between these. I can see the next row, I think there was 4 rows, and I can see that row. That's good. So I can now get these weeds knocked down in between, because I can keep an eye on them, and get some posts in along, and then we'll do very similar to what we did there, but obviously hopefully keeping on top of the weeds. Now, as I say, this is quite embarrassing, is what the weeds are like here. This is absolutely terrible. It's really bad husbandry from me looking after it, but I was down here with a strimmer last night, big heavy strimmer, going at the thistles and stuff in between the rows. Now the reason that this got bad, I'm not giving it a daft excuse. The weeder, the ridge weeder I've got, isn't quite set right, and when I came up it actually took out the row. so hence there's no carrots there. It worked fine first time when the ridges were formed, but then the second time it wouldn't centre on the ridge because obviously the ridge has been knocked down, which then caused a few issues. So what I'm looking to try and do, I think, is create an implement which will run up, taking the middle of the ridge out basically. Now I could try and do it with the ridging plough. Maybe if I narrow the moldboards, but that might work. That might be alright. If I bring the boards back in, might have to give that a try. But the trouble is, what I'm wanting to try it on has all got crop in it now. Now, this area next to me, on my left here, has got parsnips in it. There is a lot of parsnips in there. They are doing okay, but there is obviously a lot of weed. The area over on the far side, there's not really much in there. That's kind of mostly gone now. I've taken out everything that was in there. That was a few lettuces and stuff. These carrots are hopefully going to be the mainstay of what's going to be getting sold in the next coming weeks, and then obviously the ones which have been planted down there will follow on. The ones that I've just planted today are ones to fill in a gap in a line. So I sowed a couple of weeks back a load of carrots down there, and for some reason the drill probably didn't put them down in the middle. There's a big gap in the middle, so I've just put in some fast growing carrots which will try and fill in that line. It was only a little packet of seeds, so these are looking, let's see, so there we go, look at them. They're looking really nice. Now, I didn't think I actually put in multicoloured carrots, but that's obviously a yellow carrot there. These are so sweet, it is untrue. They are absolutely lovely, and obviously with the ground being wet, they're coming out of the ground quite nicely. That's kind of big enough to sell up at the Honesty Box. The restaurant wants them a little bit bigger than that, so hopefully we've got a big event coming up with the Jerby Community Centre at the start of August, so hopefully they'll be a bit bigger by then, because that's what they're going to need them for, and it'd be really nice to provide our carrots for them to use. They're doing a get me right carrot cake. I think it is carrot cake, so I'm hoping that I can provide the carrots up for it. Onion wise, here again, everything's just full of weeds. Like I say, it's a bit embarrassing, is that. Relatively small onion. These are they've not really done too much, probably because of the weeds over them. They should be quite nice. I might have a sample of some of them. I'd ideally wanted them to go a bit bigger, but that just hasn't happened. Some of them might, but they're all getting a bit knocked over and feeling a little bit limp. So I tell you what, I'll take one of them. I'll do it as a green onion, which just makes the flavour a bit stronger. I'll take the carrots with us. I've got some carrots in the pickup already, which they can go with. Still raining. Hang on. There we go. Still raining, and that is like what it should look like once it's been weeded. So I've just gone up between the rows of peas, so they're the green strips you can see. Obviously not all of that is peas, there is weeds in there, but that's where the plants are. So they do carry on, but the lines, they're all the same length as the long ones, but the ones on this side just got a little bit vague, so I stopped there, because last thing I want to do is mow over where the peas are. So I thought we'll leave that, let them get a bit bigger. Broad beans here going up. I've just put more in down that end as well, so that little brown strip you can see there. These things here are gladioli, so they're going to be flowers. There's a few different colours in there. Now, talking of broad beans, I do already have broad beans in. Let's see if there is any beans. Now, these ones, they kind of snuck through. I forgot they were there, to be honest. So they've not been supported. Plenty of flowers on them. No beans as yet. So that's okay. There's actually a carrot in the middle of them as well. So this is my that's not a very good carrot, is it? This is my row of carrots which had failed, and then they appeared in underneath the peas and up there along that row. Again, like I say, the weeds are terrible down here. I'm a bit embarrassed by them. Over there's looking a lot better. This area is probably, well, depending what goes on next year with where we've got and how much land we've got, I might actually rest this area and put a good quality cover crop on, which will just suppress any of these weeds down, or even something which I can mow, which will then get rid of the weed seed bank. You know, that's going to be a good thing to do to try and get on top of that. So if it's somewhere which we could just mow and mow and mow for a year, it'd be all right, and then look to turn it back into something nice next year. Sorry, following year. By which point that would be 3 years since the pumpkins were here, so the pumpkins could come back up this direction. So yes, a nice nitrogen fixing cover crop would be good. So at that point, nitrogen fixing is the likes of a legume, so like the peas. So the peas and barley, which is in here, that would be great to follow, because the peas take nitrogen out of the air and they put it into nodules in their roots. So when you then harvest them and the roots get left in the soil, they then rot down, releasing the nitrogen, which is basically the equivalency of putting fertilizer on, which obviously we've not had to do. There's been no fertilizer put on that section at all, I don't think, even by the farmer. Obviously we've not put anything on ours other than horse muck, of which I do need to go collect some. I've got 2 different loads to go collect, so that would be nice to get sorted. Just got to work out how to do it with trailers and such like, because there's only one of me, so I might need to try and grab someone to give us a hand on that. Yeah, so we're getting there, just gone through on the weeding. I'm just going to go have a look at a mower just now before heading home. It is 5 o'clock, so to be honest, I'm just going to have a very quick look at the mower and head home and go get dry. So yeah, see you all later, take care.